Hey, if you want to build your online business, grow your list, and attract new customers to you and turn your content into a lead magnet, then this is the episode for you. What's up, B-Dog? Sammy G in the house, coming to you live and direct, Facebook Lifestyle, and of course to our brand new podcast, The Ministry of Marketing, episode whatever this is, 3 or whatever we're going to, whatever it is. But today we're talking about lead magnets. More importantly, taking your content, your everyday content, and turning it into a lead generating machine. Sammy G, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here with me. We're talking about lead magnets. Now, first of all, Sammy G, let's jump in and let's talk about the difference between traditional sort of style of marketing that maybe some people are used to, and now we're all moving online and we're all wanting to create leverage. We're all wanting to be able to attract these people, reach out from the computer and pull them in with their eyeballs into what we have to sell.
Well, the old kind of marketing was very much about you going out and being the hunter. It was, okay, how am I going to send all of this stuff to my mum and my dad and my friends and my hundreds list, and I'm going to knock on everyone's door and I'm going to fly a drop and I'm going to do all this crazy stuff, which is a massive headache, and I'm going to be breathing down people's necks and panting and trying to get them to buy whatever it is that I have, versus you being this amazing thing, moving around, talking your own stuff, being your own person, and actually creating yourself as a magnet of attraction and attracting people to you. So there's a huge difference and a huge movement, I think, in the way that social media is evolving, the way that sales are evolving, and it's about you being that attractive character and bringing people in toward you. How do you do that?
Oh, Sammy G, you are like music to my ears. I am all for that. And especially, like you said, everyone's online. Everyone's staring at their phone. No one's picking up the junk mail anymore.
That's
no
right.
one's answering the door when you're trying to push something. You know, remember the old days of the vacuum cleaners and someone banging on your door and wanting to come in and do a free clean and show you all the goods, and you end up buying a crazy vacuum cleaner.
I remember.
Those days are gone.
Good.
High fives all around. Right? But we are living in this age now where we talk a lot about this throwaway marketing. There's all this content. I mean, we talked about attraction marketing in one of our other episodes, and it's all about, target market. It's all about a marketing strategy that focuses on targeting people who are already looking for what you have to sell and building a relationship with them over time. So how do we do it? Like, I don't want to create just content all day, every day, and then not leverage it. Like, surely there's a better way.
Well, it's not only that, it's exhausting. For a lot of people, they have all these great intentions. They're like, okay, I'm going to show up on social media. I'm going to be this person. I want to position myself as this person. They start coming up with these ideas about what they're going to post, when they're going to post it, what time are they going to do it. And guess what? After about 6 or 7 days of sludging through, working out what you're going to post, when, your topics, it's exhausting. And it's like, okay, I've got to now do that next week and the week after and the week after, ongoing forever. And this is why you see a lot of people online on social media who are in sales. They burn out very quickly because it is a massive high turnover of content.
So here we are, we have the attraction marketing, and we wanted just to really give you 3 keys to becoming that magnetic marketer before we jump into the whole defining moment of creating this content, which, like Sammy said, day in,
day out.
I mean, I haven't thought of a great idea in years, but here I am.
I can vouch for that.
But I can find this information that, like, maybe once or twice I had a fleeting moment of geniusness, and I posted up on social media, or I put it in a blog, or I did it on a video, or I did something. Surely I could take that information and then be able to leverage it and be able to use it, rinse and repeat over and over again, and at the same time to be able to continue to run my business and be able to attract new people to me. So the 3 keys to becoming a magnetic marketer, Sammy, just for everyone playing at home.
Clearly define your market. The best target market to focus on are people who have already said yes to what you offer. Focus your efforts on solving their problems, working out what they need, talking to them in their language. That, I would say, is number 1.
Number 2 is all about positioning yourself as the expert. And again, like we said, once you know your audience, take some time to research them, brainstorm, discover, and write down their biggest challenges, problems, pains, desires, dreams, and questions.
Yes.
Well, I was gonna jump in there. So before you go on to number 3, and that is, like you said, we're already doing all this research, right?
Yes.
We're already spending so much time and energy trying to think of these people, trying to give them a name. People call them the avatar. That we've done all this stuff. Surely we could create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of content and be able to package it up and craft it in such a way that we rinse and repeat. And this is the topic. This is what we're going to dive into today. Number 3, Sammy G.
Create your content. So your job is to create daily content. It could be videos, it could be a Facebook post, it could be a blog, just for your audience that, again, addresses their top challenges, their problems, their pains, their dreams, their desires, their frustration. So you're talking directly to them. You're hitting them between the eyes. And now, for everyone, you have all different types of media. For some of you, you are amazing writers. Guess what? Go to town on writing. Write blogs, write your posts, do all of that stuff. For others, it could be video. You're really good at videos. You're really entertaining. You love switching on the camera and just talking. Guess what? That may be your main mode of communication. But find how you work best and start there.
I am a motor mouth, so I'm going to be about
Tell me about it.
Direct to camera, just point and shoot. Let's get on with it. And so number 1, like really when we're starting to dive into this lead magnet, like creating this lead generating machine of content, I mean, in this day and age, online marketers, we're all creating content. Like Sammy said, choose your medium, choose the way that you're going to express yourself, choose the area that you're able to, your area of genius. And again, like Sammy said, straight to camera, audio, visual, written, whatever it is, we are all doing the same thing if you're in the online marketing space. We are content creators. This lead magnet then is really taking us to that next level, is to be able to publish something, to be able to capture something in a moment of time, and then be able to, like I said, rinse and repeat all day long, create leverage in your business.
And I think that's an area that a lot of people get stuck on because they're like, oh, to be successful, I must be good at videos. To be successful, I must be good at writing. So they spend all this time comparing, going, well, I'm not very good at that, so maybe I just can't do this. No, you will be good in one area. You may get better over time in certain areas, but start with the area that you feel most comfortable in, most confident in. Start there, and you can always branch out to other sorts of domains as time goes on.
I love that. So let's jump into this lead magnet, okay? Now, I get it, right? Like, you know, when we start a new business, especially online marketing, network marketing, if you're in that industry, you know that like chasing your mum around for all the products that, you know, I mean, she's probably got a garage full of it. Let's just be honest. Your dog's got it, your mum's got it, you've got it. At the end of the day, you've got to run out of people to talk to because there ain't enough people in the world here. So at some point, whether it's network marketing, whether it's online marketing, whatever industry you represent, you have to go out and find a cold market. You have to go out and put yourself out into the mainstream of life, into the outside of your sphere of influence, to be able to say, hey, I'm more than just my mum, you know, my mum's son or my mum's daughter. I want to be taken seriously. So if you're not keen on chasing around your family and friends, it's no secret that selling to cold traffic, which is people who don't know about you or your business, is far more difficult than selling to warm leads, which is people who know and trust. So Sammy, what is a lead magnet?
So a lead magnet is like a resource, a product or a service given away for free in order. So it's like a transaction, but you're giving it away to somebody free to collect their information. So it's from your target market, and it could be collecting things like an email address, a phone number, a name, shipping information. It could be a magnitude of things, but it's something of value. So it puts you in their eyes as a professional, as someone who has something that they want. And in return for you giving them this valuable piece of information, they're giving you something else in return, which is their contact details.
So Sammy, just so the people at home can really understand this and digest this, why would I need an email address? So we're dealing with a cold market, first of all.
Yeah.
People who don't really care about us.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we care about everyone, but some people don't care about us, like that cold market. The first thing is we have to understand this target market. So we're out there and we go, right, we understand their problems, desires, challenges, all those different things. I'm going to write something. I'm going to create some content, however medium I want, and then I'm going to throw it out there. And why would I want that information? Like, what for as a business, why is that important to me?
Well, it's very important to have everyone's contact information because of a number of things to deepen that relationship for a start. I think we're all aware, if you've been in sales at all, if you've read any sales books, if you've been on any sales courses, everyone knows it takes around 12 exposures to your product, service, or even you, for someone to actually start and digest what you're talking about. The first 10, 12 times, it's like you're speaking a foreign language. They're like, okay, I took in 1% of what you said. I looked at your stuff. I scrolled past it. I wasn't really paying attention. By the time you get to round about 12 exposures, someone is then, I'm starting to trust you. You've got the same message. It's coming through again and again. I'll open my brain capacity up to actually listening now to what you've got to talk about. So having that email address, having that contact information, one of the reasons it's important is so that you can deepen the relationship with that person ongoing.
I guess another quick reason, why we're on that subject is about positioning yourself as the expert in the ideal customer, your ideal customer's eyeballs. Mm-hmm. So when you're creating like a lead magnet, when you're putting content out there, what you're basically saying is, I live to solve your problems and challenges. I every day.
I'm excited about it.
That's right. While your ideal client is running around the world looking for the solution to their pain point, you are crafting a message in such a way to basically get rid of all the noise and stand out as that person to say, I'm the authority on this. I may not know everything, but I know exactly how to solve X. I know how to solve your problem. I know how to solve I have the solution to what you're ultimately looking for. So in the eyes of the client or your customer, they now see you as a person of authority. And authority goes a long way, and like having social proof goes a long way in building trust and influence. And like we've talked about in many of these episodes, people will do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And if you have a cold market person, the first thing to do is to warm them up. So these lead magnets really serve this purpose.
And again, I know we say this all the time, but the depth of your connection will determine how that person, how your client, how your customer perceives your product, you, and your service. So having that email address and being able to deepen the relationship by email, by sending newsletters out, whatever it is that you come up with, will definitely help that person to see you, like Brett said, as that authority, that figure that's going to help them.
Oh, Sammy, you are like singing the song all the way to the bank.
Lead magnets.
Woo! Okay, so let's dive in for everyone now. Let's talk about what makes a great lead magnet. So there are really three components to what makes this lead magnet great. Number one, we've been speaking about it quite a bit today, but it's about attractive to your target market. Let's just check this out. A lead magnet is only useful if it attracts your target market and people who are likely to buy from you in the future. If a lead magnet attracts the wrong people, which we've seen it happen before, it can be detrimental to your business and your marketing. Sammy G.
Right. Easy to consume, easy to create. So your lead magnet should have your target market's most immediate problem at the forefront and answer it. I know I've used this example before. I am looking to get my baby to sleep. I'm searching through Facebook. Oh my gosh, this baby's got me up all night. Someone is promoting download my 2-page document on how to get your baby to sleep at night. Guess what? I'm going to be scrambling to put my email address in. So that's just an example of how the person has the problem, has the need, and then the other person has the lead magnet to get my email address, but it's also of value and it's going to help me, the mom whose baby doesn't sleep at night, solve the problem immediately.
I love that. And number 3, solves an immediate problem. Okay, what makes lead magnet mind-blowingly attractive to your target market? Like Sammy has just reinforced there, something that promises to solve with very little friction the person's most immediate problem. Right at the eyelid. That's where you need to aim. Not so many people want to give so much away, in value and energy and time and content. Just hit them in the eyeball first. Don't give everything away, because you have to create this back and forth conversation with you and your prospects as you grow and build and deepen rapport.
And like we've said, it has to be easy to create, because it isn't something of, it isn't your autobiography of your entire life where you spend the next 2 years writing this thing, perfecting it. It's amazing. It's like this big, and then you're giving it away to everyone for free, because where are you going to go to next? So it's something that is small, easy to create, hits the person between the eyes, but it really does not take too much of your valuable time to create it and get it out there.
Oh, Sammy G. So now we're talking about, okay, how do I take my content then, just a simple post, right? Like, because you're sitting there,
yeah.
You say to me, you're either consuming or you're producing on social media. And most of the time we're all just consuming info, right? Just like, come at me, info all the time. So it's information overload. So here you are as a business owner, and you're creating an amazing post, one that has the AIDA principles. So you've got the nice big headline, you create some interest, you're telling a story, you have this desire, you have, the 3 practical ways, the 2 practical ways to put your baby to sleep, in less time than it takes to make a cup of coffee. I mean, like you said, if that person is searching for it, they're going to consume that and go, these 3 or 4 steps I need to do right now are going to immediately impact. So you create this post and you throw it out in the social media world, and it's like, all right, so what can I do with that? And what is I've created the content. So now how do I turn that into a lead magnet? Like what are some lead magnet ideas that I could create? Well, we've got a couple of them here. So I'll just start off. Number 1, you could create a case study. All right, you could create a case study and say, here's Jemima, and Jemima has been suffering from X, and after implementing these 3 steps, which I'm going to teach you in this case study, you're going to be able to get this reward. All right, so it could be a case study. You may know someone who's dealt with that. What else?
It could be a step-by-step guide. So again, I'm going to teach you in 3 short steps how to get your baby to bed, like Brett said, in the same amount of time it takes you to make a cup of coffee. It could be something like that. So it's step by step. So the person goes, okay, I can follow that. That's going to be of high value, and it's going to be really easy for me to follow along those 3 steps. It could be a challenge. Join my 7-day challenge in how to overhaul your sales process. How to join my challenge to, lose weight. It could be anything. So it could be product orientated. It could be, digital information orientated. It could be anything.
Ebooks, worksheets, checklists, calendars, case studies, scripts, behind the scenes, sneak peeks, step-by-steps, challenges, you name it, we've got it here. And so it shows you that it's just thinking differently
About how you package
content
it.
you've already created. And here's a nice little lesson for you, okay? So those of you playing at home, people tend to pay more of the same information if it's packaged differently. So let me just unpack that a little bit, right? Let's just say we're just doing a Facebook Live, for example, like this, or a podcast or whatever else. You could then take that information, that little bit of content that you've created, and then turn it into a high value ebook. All of a sudden, people go, that ebook may be worth more than this throwaway Facebook Live that sort of, is out there in the world, got here today, gone tomorrow. So it's about you looking at your content that you've already created, looking back at posts that you've done, looking back at training that you've done, looking back at a Facebook Live that you've done, look back at a PowerPoint that you've had to create to stand up on stage. And from there, package it up differently, and then the marketplace will have different value attached to it.
Do you know what I think is a really big point as well? Is that most people, when they're beginning their journey of even thinking about this, like they may have been online for, X amount of 5, 10, 15 years. And then this day comes and they're like, right, now I want to get serious. I want to brand myself. I want to portray my products. I want to talk about my company or my business or whatever it is. Right, I'm starting from zero. Oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to post? I think for most people, understanding that you've really already done the hard work. You've got years of content, of things that you've done, of workshops you may have been a part of, Facebook Lives, training videos, ideas written down. You've got all of that stuff. So I think it's a real light bulb moment. And I know it is for the people that we work with, and it was for us, is taking all of that stuff that you've already done. You've already done the hard work, taking it and turning it into 10 different things.
Absolutely. So we've jotted some of these things down just really quickly. Like Sammy said, that top tip is you already have the content you need to start creating lead magnets. It's already there. So here's one, for example, compile an ebook. Have you trained your team lately? Are you part of a team? Have you stood on stage? You could compile your training and experience into an ebook, which could create a ton of value to your ideal client.
Could be turning something that you've already done into a podcast, like working out, okay, I've already done those videos. How do I now take that audio and turn that video that I did that's stored, in the vaults on your computer somewhere? How do I then take it and turn it into a podcast and repurpose it, turning it into another mode of someone hearing your message?
I absolutely love that one. Here's a great one. And I really want to just highlight this, especially for everyone playing at home, and that is an audio interview series. Now, there's a lot of people that sit out there and go, well, I'm not an expert yet. I haven't reached the levels of success that I believe I need to hit in order then to be able to train someone or, to be able to be the expert or position myself as one. Well, what about an audio interview series where you take the back seat, where you become the interviewer and you find the experts inside of your niche, inside of that marketplace where you want to serve, and just interview them and then compile, let's just say it's 6 different interviews. Let's say you start with 3 people that you know that have the skills or the success or the experience or the wisdom that you would want to be able to impart. And then you turn that into like a little masterclass or a summit or an audio series or a podcast series. Then what I've just, an example is you've taken the simple information and turned it and packaged it up differently. All of a sudden, that would be high value. How about just some famous examples? That is Think and Grow Rich. Okay, that book has sold gazillion copies and continues to be redone again and again. That person who wrote it wasn't the person who was rich. He interviewed people. He followed people around. He looked at the success of most people and said, what have they got in order to be success? and therefore I'm going to create that book. And then, look at what's happened.
Well,
you too can do the same.
It's about becoming the Oprah Winfrey of your industry, whatever that may be. If you're a real estate agent, interviewing really successful real estate agents on how they do their business. Network marketing, same thing. Interviewing people in your team who are winning, who are mega successful. How are they doing it? So instead of you feeling like, oh my gosh, I've got to know everything before I can even open my mouth. And unfortunately, that is where a lot of people live. They're like, when I have the success, then I'll do it. And they're waiting around for years and they never actually do anything. So flipping that and becoming the interviewer of people and putting that out there will elevate you again in your prospect, your customer, your client. It will put you up there in their eyes.
Oh, I love that. Sammy, one final thing before we move on, and that is about repurposing your life. Now, we started off talking about
that's a good
choosing
one.
your medium, right? Like choosing your platform. And man, if I had to sit down and try to write things out and edit them in a way that's direct marketing, that is enjoyable, that can be entertaining to people, I would be sitting there all day. It would be a stupid waste of my time. So, for example, this here, we can take this video or this training that we're doing, this episode that we're doing, and we can repurpose this. So I can send it to online transcription, send my video in, turn it into a document, then be able to edit it, and then be able to create an ebook from just this live.
Yep.
So I want you to really get your juices flowing about there's no blockage to be able to create all these different things out of just a simple idea. And again, we talk about the you, Sammy, in terms of ideas. No one knows you like you. No one has your point of view. No one has your edge. No one has your experience of life. And this, you could take a content that's been done over and over again, but putting your own perspective on things changes the game and positions you as the expert.
Yeah, well, it's very clever. Like we said, leverage. That's what you want to do. Trying to pump out millions and millions of bits of content is exhausting. So it's learning the ways to take something that you do, spend an hour, 10 minutes, whatever it is, on making one thing and turning that one thing into 100 things.
Oh, Sammy G, you are speaking my language. Now let's just get into the structure of a lead magnet. And I really wanted to just quickly, now there are 100 ways to be able to do this. But if, like I said, we follow this AIDA principle, and we lay this now over this lead magnet structure. I'm just gonna wrap it out straight away. Attention is first, an exciting introduction to what they're going to learn. You've got to have a great title. You have to have a great, what is the spreadsheet? Is it opening lines to be able to increase your sales? I'm going to give you my 10 best opening lines right now. Download this, or grab a copy of it right now. But you have to give it something that's immediately solving the target market's pain point.
And it's something that's going to stop them in their tracks. So think about if you yourself as a consumer of social media, look back and see what headlines have stopped you in your tracks. What stopped you from scrolling? Because guys, there's people talking and selling stuff and talking at you all day long. It's about you working out what stops you in your tracks and what will stop your target audience in their tracks. So interest. The meat of the resource is the interest part. This is where they get tons of free value. So this is where you're solving their problem. You've come up with all that little pieces of information where the person's like, thank you. You have solved my awful problem that's keeping me up at night.
Absolutely. The next thing then is to create desire. So here's what you do inside your magnet, and that is recap on what they've just learned. Future pace what life would look like having accomplished what they've just learned. So it's what will happen when life is easier, when your baby's sleeping 8 hours a day? What more things could you do with your life? Well, you know what I'm talking about, right?
If only baby slept 8 hours a day.
There would be an ebook that, there would be some sort of magnet out there that could teach me these things. But until I find that, that desire is what will life look like at the end of the tunnel, right? Because at the moment, I know that as a target market, you're like, oh, I'm frustrated with this. And imagine life when you can solve these problems and you can move on, this creates even more heightened awareness of wanting to fix the problem and do something about it.
And also the last one is you have to have a call to action. You have to. You can't just go, there you go, guys, there's my amazing stuff, bye, see you later. So you have to have some sort of call to action on there. Your wrap-up should lead them directly into the next steps. So what we do next is, and that's where you can introduce your offer.
Absolutely. All right, so that is the basic structure. Now, there's many different ways that you can do it. If it's a checklist, there's different ways to do it. There's so many different ways. Video formula is different, but essentially, it's going to follow that sort of framework.
You get the idea of the full concept.
All right, so let's look at where does it fit then. So this is a 4-step lead funnel that we have sort of just penned out, and this is how it looks. So stage number 1 is about that target market. You use your online and offline strategies to identify and connect with your ideal client. And we can go deeper into this in other episodes, but for now, that's essentially what we're doing on a day-to-day basis.
Giving them access to your lead magnet. So they need to give you an email address so that you can send the actual thing through to them. So it's a win-win. They get the value in the thing that they want that's going to solve their problem. And guess what? You get the contact information.
All right. The third thing then is an opportunity to build relationship then over time. So the lead magnet isn't the end result. It's not like that's it. It's about now, like Sammy said, the importance of building rapport. I'm going to take that email. I'm going to take some information from them so me and them can stay connected and in communication. This is where we get to build relationship, that depth of connection. You can continue to deepen relationships online and offline. Some people use Facebook groups, some people use MailChimp and other servers where they can have a weekly newsletter or a weekly interaction. They can do live calls, they can you can do discovery calls. There's so many different ways to deepen the relationship between you and your ideal client.
And it's keeping them up to date on what's going on in your life, and remembering that everybody learns or communicates differently. So having lots of different ways that you talk to people, you have emails, which are part of the jigsaw puzzle. You might do videos, which are another part of the jigsaw puzzle. You might post in Facebook groups, another part, blogs, it's another part. So overall, you've ticked boxes in everyone's different ways of communicating. So having that and having that email list, that means you have that person, their eyes on you forever, means that you can speak to that person ongoing. And, like we said before, sometimes it takes 12 exposures. Guess what? Some people it takes 1,200 exposures. So if you have that email database, you can talk to someone forever.
Here's a great mantra, or just a great way to think of things, and that is, once you're on my list, you're on my list until. All right? And that fits in any industry, anything that you're selling, any business that you're running. If you become part of my list, and you can see bricks and mortar businesses, when you go into the shops and you go in and buy something, they don't want you just as a one-time purchase. They want to build a VIP relationship with you. Have you checked out our buy 10 get 1 free, our royalty programs? All these different things are in place. Because of that, they want to continue the relationship and continue the communication long after that purchase has been made. And so this is really important, that if you join my list, you're on it until 1 year from now, you might buy something. 12 years later, you might be ready to buy something. 12 days, 12 hours, whatever it is. You're not in a rush. As long as you keep the lines of communication open, you can build and deepen that rapport. So team, Sammy G, that lead magnets are hugely...
Lead magnets are good.
Valuable to your business. And especially if you're online, and like I said, content creation, to go from a post, a simple bit of content, a bit of like a live,
that
or
you've
whatever
already done. You've already done it.
And then reformatting in such a way that people can say, I want it. So check this out. We've done it for you. We've actually, ta-da! We've actually created a workbook to help you get started and build your very first lead magnet. And again, all you need to do is just let us know and we'll send it straight to you. You can download that free work, like that lead magnet. And again, we're also going to add this training as well to it to help you sort of navigate, again, going through those steps that we have been talking about up until now. And again, check this out. I'm going to just be transparent. this lead magnet was built from the presentation that we built for this, that then first started in 2020 when I did a post on ways that you can take your information and repurpose it into a lead magnet. So this, my friends, is it in action.
It's
we are
the
teaching it
secret
to
to success.
you as we do it. So it has been an absolute pleasure to hang out with you all, to teach you, or just to discuss how to take your content, your everyday content, and turn it into a lead magnet that is generating leads for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Ministry of Marketing, over and out.